Okay, so the first thing y'all were wrong about Avowed is that it was never supposed to be Skyrim. Or Oblivion. Well, this is just economic game design, because why spend money for a fancy cinematic when you already have the concept artist on payroll? And presumably in America, you're holding the sword of emergency hospital visits of Damocles over his head at all times. Wait, are we just making the zombie thing from The Last of Us? Look, if you're given a xenomorph facehugger that's presumably a sentient piece of Groot's ass, I think you're obliged to use it in order to prove you're not a motherfucking boring motherfucker with no motherfucking imagination. Oh, there is a cinematic. Guess the concept artist quit to move to Canada for free healthcare. I'm gonna spoil the game now and say it's about the origins of the T-virus with magical pirates. Anyway, my point is illustrated with, well, this thing, because I can't be asked to reinstall those other games, and also because honestly I expected better from humanity lest I start drinking again. Hey, can I kill that monkey? Because if I can, Hogwarts Legacy can further go f*** itself. Okay, so nowhere can I recall at any point Avowed being advertised as a Bethesda game. You know, here's a big world, it's pretty interactive, come live in it and maybe take pictures of the stupid bugs to post on social media. Install 50,000 mods mostly having to do with adding anime tits to everything, and if you have any time left over, maybe actually try to follow the main plot, which is usually shit. Bethesda builds worlds, quality not guaranteed, but this is Obsidian, the nerds who aspire to be taken seriously as writers and just want to tell you a story. Usually a pretty good one.
We don't have to like...
Oh man, I'm not using the third-person camera anymore. That jump is floatier than Mario. I think they forgot to texture the interiors of these chests. Let's talk about that and the many other ways you're also wrong about Avowed throughout this video. That's what we call a hook in the essayist business. So I noticed there's also a game called Unavowed on Steam, and I feel I have to let know everybody who also wants to buy Avowed that once you have it, I'm pretty sure the laws of the universe states you can never play Unavowed because owning both is probably a crossing of the streams kind of situation.
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Not particularly interesting, but good to know because reviews are actually really singing the praises of both games.
Whatever's on their faces.
Whatever's on your face makes your conservative parents ashamed of you. So apparently the cinematics director also left for Canada because without even the courtesy of a transition screen, you arrive at the mainland from being stranded on the island, which was apparently all of maybe 8 feet away all along. So I don't know why I couldn't have just dog paddled.
Your face.
Your face is ugly, because it looks like the animation artist is also thinking about moving to Canada.
A message from the government of Canada.
Better yours than...
You're Gare, so I can't get mad at you. It's not allowed by law or something. Anyways, you're also wrong about Avowed if you think it's a tentpole game or a killer app for a system seller or whatever language Xbox groupies used to make themselves feel less dirty in the morning. Is it worth 90 Canuck bucks plus Quebecois taxes? Acheter Canadien, vive le Canada, ho ho ho.
A message from the government of Canada.
Well, honestly, I think they only spent like 69 American toonies making the game because it's cheap as f.
Bring me his map. I'll be glad to pay.
What the f? Why am I picking up odd jobs at the dock like a common hooker? I'm an official ambassador and that's at least a high-priced escort in terms of geopolitics. It's always nighttime when you make camp. Sure, whatever. Garrus is illiterate in this game, but he does own a gun, so I guess the joke's on me. Where can I get one of those?
Are you blind? We're being hunted. Get rid of the band. We'll talk after. Are you blind?
The guy responsible for writing multiple lines of ancillary dialogue is also moving to Canada. The guy responsible for making the animation of your guy putting his hand on the big rock has already moved to Canada. What the fuck? Okay, I mean, Henry's poor as shit, but really turned out his pockets to make sure his shit-covered cutscenes are lavish and well-directed, whereas in Avowed, you get one opening cinematic, followed by scrolling text over context art. And during the first big plot point where you touch the Prothean beacon for your mandatory dose of hallucinatory prophetic bullshit, you're basically stuck talking to a slightly animated screensaver that sasses you. It's apparently a job requirement for diplomatic ambassadors to also be good at parkour. Huh? Hang on, gotta eat.
Envoy.
Well, game's over, go home. So the cutscene guy obviously moved back to the US after finding out free healthcare doesn't cover the drugs.
A message from the government of Canada.
So did the hand animations guy. When he found out, he still has to buy his own weed. Also, Obsidian obviously employs some pretty clever accountants because if everybody gets fired when a studio's game doesn't turn a profit, The simplest solution, therefore, is to make the game for as cheaply as possible so as to make losing money nigh on impossible. Ideally by nailing the feet of the NPCs to the ground, because it was either animating walking for background extras or a semi-carton of eggs in the break room fridge, and you know Americans can't afford eggs by February of 2025.
Envoy, could I speak with you?
No, I'm too important. How many made-up words are in this game? And yes, I didn't even notice, and they probably would have gotten away with it until the internet told me. And now I can't unsee it. Thank you very much, you nitpicking bitches.
Bitch!
What I did notice, however, was the game stuttering like a nervous politician explaining his evaporating lead in the polls whenever there are more than 2 buildings on screen.
I wouldn't sell you something I thought would kill you. That's not good for business.
Pick the intellectual, because then you get the speech checks where you can make everybody else feel stupid about themselves.
Alright, that one's not for sale.
I don't even know what this is, I'm not smart enough. It's not even a prolonged stutter, but a tick every time you move, and I even think I figured it out. Feel free to send that QA check my way, Obsidian. How many made-up swear words are in this game?
Oh, I can feel it.
Yeah, I feel like throwing up too. The stuttering only happens on the big overworld map, so I guess it's trying to calculate a bear shitting in the woods, even as I'm working out my own murder mystery in the middle of Times Square. No, I'm right. The stutter completely disappears when loaded into an instance, so my question is, why the f wasn't the entire game just connected instances? Your open world is neither open or a world, and being brutally honest, you have no f***ing idea. So why not just play to your strengths? This spell just gives me a stick? I'm not even good with sticks, I'm an intellectual. In that, you're also wrong, because Avowed isn't even a traditional CRPG the way humanity's greatest cultural achievement is. Because it's not trying to simulate every possible outcome of a player saying, yeah, but what if I just, and then proceeding to roll double boxcars, and the dealer dungeon master just has to hold his head and go along with it and try to make it all make sense. See, it doesn't lag in here. You know what, bitches? You're right. This is pretty noticeable and immersion breaking.
Bitch!
Mine.
Earth and rock!
I don't know how often is this gonna come up again. Okay.
Perhaps higher education.
I'm just here for your stuff. Hey look, I can fart acid out of my hand.
As you know, Kai and I have worked together.
I'll be honest, the story is pretty intriguing. I'm not entirely sure what it's building up to, but I'm interested to find out. 0 out of 10, can't kill this chicken.
Naturally.
So, you admit you're a charlatan. I did read this, and yes, it is well written. No, you're boring. Shut up.
No one will challenge our presence in the living lands.
I, for one, am proud to be a colonialist. Look at the consequences of my actions. Best RPG ever. Oh good, I can still go back if I want to, so I don't miss any side quests.
I'm sick!
Aware, I can see you digging through my thing.
Oh shit, the internet told me you didn't give 2 shits about my stealing. Whatever, here's what I got. What's wrong with your arm? Hey look, I found a gun.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Are you a godlike?
I don't know, do you blink?
Dare you use that?
Also, why do you guys hold conversations while standing rigidly side by side? Okay, so the game is really more of a slightly dog-eared choose-your-own-adventure novel where the point is just to get to the next dialogue tree. So you can pick the most sarcastic speech check to find out more about the weird world, and pretty engrossing plot about a magical plague and a fantasy take on colonization, with muskets and cutlasses during the Great Age of Sail. I'm not the only asshole here, look at my dwarf.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Wait a minute. Plague? Colonialism? Magical pirates? This is just Greedfall, isn't it? Well, I guess what I'm saying is just play that one while waiting for Avowed to be patched, so it doesn't stutter like shit anymore.
Check the board for work.
No, I'm here for a good story, not busy work. Also, not whatever the hell this is.
Friend?
That's more like it. Okay, so I think in a year or two, we'll look back on this game as something definitely not as fondly remembered as the Outer Worlds, which I'm still convinced none y'all actually understood what the f*** the story was all about. But I digress, and that's because I finished the game a hell of a lot sooner than I expected to, and came away a hell of a lot less satisfied than I thought I would be, like paying for a high-priced escort who turns out to be your twin sister. So given there's no Lannister or Targaryen in this high fantasy setting, you're just left with a whole lot of silent awkwardness as you contemplate whether it's not appropriate, and if you can still get a refund for the whole thing after 2,000 hours. Let's find out why. Number 1, this shit is pointless. And it just causes you to start drinking again. Oh man, I drank too much.
So many of my kin are dead by your hand.
Sorry. Number 2, everything I picked up was pointless. Number 3, most of these choices are pointless.
This isn't it.
Number 4, most of your companions are pointless. Because I never really had to upgrade anything, or the act of upgrading gear was so overbearingly annoying that I just didn't bother with it. Go out, get parts. Go to camp, discover your missing parts, pick up camp, get parts. Go to camp again, not everybody you work with thinks you're bipolar or something. Nobody ever sells the things you need either.
Indulge me. What are you excited to learn about?
The main plot is still interesting, but
I've got nothing.
the execution, unfortunately, is really less modern Fallout New Vegas, what makes up the high standards of a first-person CRPG, and more Borderlands for people who slightly know how to read.
Must be a weird curse.
Also, I don't know why these puzzles are here because I only had to solve like 2 in the entire game. They didn't even have enough money to animate her mouth moving. And for a CRPG, there are surprisingly few speech checks that will allow you to talk your way out of a problem, like the intellectual savant you planned out on your character sheet. Oh shit.
His people burned my city.
No, I didn't.
God, I love that tiny woman.
Yes, thank you for changing the subject. Anyway,
You heard Vidal. The settlement is done for.
This settlement is our home.
you may be wondering why I'm not using magic. My answer is, why the f would I? I have a gun.
You irredeemable fucking swine.
You know, it says something about the story that by the time you get to the 3rd biome, you still don't have much of an idea what the overarching plot is trying to tell you. Look at that guy. His name is Nameho. What a whore.
The only strange dreams we've had involve your mother.
Yeah, no lies. Mom is hot.
Are you smoking Sveff?
Where can I get some sweff?
A message from the government of Canada.
You know, I could totally believe this game started as some sort of live service looter shooter or something, with all the different biomes, focus on combat and loot drops and parkour, and yet, if somebody told me that was the case...
Another shit atop the pile.
No.
See what I mean?
Barrett's balls.
You can press a button and the game will tell you in detail what's a Barath and how sweaty his balls are.
I've got to take some supplies to the
Fuck off. Yeah, budget is a real problem with this game because the desert level pulls double duty as the snow planet as well.
Are you messing with me?
Maybe.
It's either too hot or too cold.
Oh look, actual plot development.
We're not getting up there.
It's like they had to hastily reassemble the game into something they know once they realized they didn't know shit about making Destiny. Or what the hell is going on here? Look, food stamps ran solo at this point. They couldn't even afford to texture the models. Fuck you.
But this just seems unfair.
Yeah, I don't think you can avoid this fight.
Let us offer you an...
Oh man, not you again.
Wake up! Wake up!
Oh shit, zombies are killing my frame rate. Despite nothing in this game looking as good as if it deserves to do that.
With cannons or steel.
So you guys want to help or... Well, I mean, I wasn't exactly expecting Helen of Troy under there, so the game boils down to go to place, make one big choice. It's a far cry again from a studio of this pedigree, which even in the criminally underappreciated Outer Worlds, boil down to go to place, make many small choices, and also if your speech skill is high enough, you can play through the whole game and not have to kill shit.
You're a disappointment.
Metaphors, motherfucker. What the hell is she doing?
Anticlimactic.
I had a good time reading this note, I'll tell you what.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
Actually, one kinda does.
It is folly.
Turn your ass around.
Yeah, but what if I...
Assholes!
Hey, so I happen to be a door-to-door vacuum salesman.
Who let them in here?
Asshole!
I don't even know what it is I stole or desecrated. Everybody in this game gives each other side-eye as they're talking, but I can't even do that because I have no eyes.
Help! My gods, they're killing us!
Yeah, let's not help that guy.
Didn't stand a chance!
Garrus, stop stealing my kills. I was about to shoot him with my wizard gun. Stupid bug. Oh man, that one kick used up like half the budget of the Outer Worlds too. I don't know, what do you think I should pick? Actually, never mind, I was kidding, I don't care. The relics of the game that never should have been made in the first place.
Another win.
Shut up, Garrus. Talking to glowing rocks and screensavers is the extent of the animation budget this game has. So why is it charging us for full price again? And considering how much I actually enjoy the Pillars universe, this really does feel like a considerable step down from the isometric games that came before.
We have waited so long.
Yeah, let's get this over with. Oh look, they found some money! And now that money is gone, because all we can afford is this glowing Transformers head with a faulty battery. Even the poignant emotional mind trip moments somewhat lose their effect, when it's just two guys standing side by side reciting their lines, with their feet bolted to the floor. Oh come on! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on!
You could have turned off the trap's thirst, right?
Shut up, cat lady. Hey, what happened to my gun? Oh man, am I glad I played the whole game in first person, because I'm just seeing now how these boots absolutely do not match with the rest of my ensemble. Yeah, I freed a long sleeping god and all I got for it was this crappy effect. And then we go home and shit's burning, and it turns out the game doesn't even have enough of a budget for a real final boss. So we just fight Lady Skeletor again apropos of nothing for a bunch of good for nothing freeloaders who can't fight their own battles.
What was I supposed to do? Frown her into submission?
No, how about you? Sure, whatever. I forgot you can't move from your spot. Honestly, I expected to get at least 2 more videos out of this game. But going back over my footage, it just made me realize how much of it could be cut without losing anything of value, and consequently made me realize just how much of the game was cobbled together from something that wasn't what it ended up as to begin with. Okay, here she is. I'm gonna kill her with snowballs, as is the Canadian way. She doesn't even have any more forms. She just keeps coming back to life as if she's hoarding Phoenix Downs. Okay, I win. You get some endings, and yet it pales in comparison to the Outer Worlds again, where it was obvious that game was made to be a dedicated CRPG to begin with, if constrained by obvious budget issues, whereas Avowed reeks of blowing all of that sweet Microsoft money on a wannabe Destiny Borderlands, before the nerds at Obsidian realized the only thing they were ever good at was writing dialogue trees, and then hastily bolting one onto this game. Very disappointed, but no, I'm not gonna stop buying your games, because sunk cost fallacy is a real problem for addicts who don't know any better. So you like wastelands and cowboys and alternative history, eh? Well, it just so happens I also write books. Genuine novels with plot and characters, and this one is available now on Amazon about an alternate World War II Pacific theater that is like Firefly mixed with Inglourious Basterds.
See how feed us into your Nazi boss.
And I also have a Patreon now where if you subscribe, you get DRM free versions of the same books as soon as they come out. Why? Because I like money. Also because I'm posting entertainment opinions on YouTube, so frankly I should have done this years ago, because you know I'm completely without capability for shame.